If you're looking for a website builder, but you just aren't ready to pay upwards to $159 per month for a tool like Wix, you can grab Grigora, which is currently on a lifetime deal. It has everything unified in one dashboard, like your own CMS, SEO features, it even has email marketing, and you can view your analytics. It also has a built-in AI for content and SEO, and you don't need to pay for your own separate hosting because fast hosting is included, including SSL and your CDN. You can grab this tool on AppSumo for a lifetime deal, starting at $59 as of this recording. You can build one website with Tier 1. You can also connect your own custom domain to that website. And what's cool is you do get unlimited storage. Now, if you grab Tier 2 or higher, you will unlock the webhooks feature. Now, this feature will allow you to push all of your leads that you capture on your Grigora website to another platform. And personally, I think that is really important, which is why I do have Tier 2. And I'll show you how the webhooks feature works in a moment. By the way, if you're looking for other quality tools that I personally recommend, you want to get free access to my Notion spreadsheet of my must-have SaaS tools for digital entrepreneurs. I update this Notion spreadsheet on a frequent basis, and you can grab this completely free by clicking the link down in the description below. So Grigora is essentially your one-stop shop for managing your website. So it's not only a website builder, but as you could see in the dashboard, you could view your analytics, and they even have some small project management features built in, like a to-do list. So up next for me is I do need to write a blog article, and if I want to add another to-do, I can just add that right over here. And if I go into today's task, it'll open up this calendar where I could view all of my tasks on a per date basis. So I built a demo site for my business, Lead Tagger. Now, if you go to all sites, you could view all of your sites at a glance, and you can start a new site as well by first giving it a name. Then you need to choose a template, and they have a variety of styles you can browse and choose from. They have templates specifically for blog websites. You could also build directory websites as well. If you have a restaurant, you could choose from one of their food templates. They also have these Substack style templates as well. So take a look at this one. This is essentially a 2-column website. So this first column is where you subscribe by entering your email. And on the right column are all of the blog articles that you could read. So Grigora could be kind of like a Substack alternative as well. You could also choose from different color palettes. So say, for example, you like this food layout. There's 6 different color palettes you can choose from. So you could pick the best palette that fits your brand. And then later you can fine tune and tweak the colors as well. You could also choose between about 9 fonts. There's DM Sans, Robodo, Montserrat, Poppins. I think this one looks best, so I'm going to click on build my website. Okay, so now we are in our brand new website's dashboard where we can manage everything we need to run a successful website. Now I'm going to go back to my Lead Tagger website and let me show you around. I want to first start with the layout section. So if you didn't like the initial layout you've chose, you could choose between the other layouts as well. So you can switch out your layout basically for any other one that you see right here. Now to edit your website, you'll just click on Customize, and on the left-hand side, you can select from a variety of elements. They have these basic elements here, like a text element, table, even code. They have elements to build the layout of your page. They also have elements for building out your CMS, so more of like the blog section. And you could even list out your directory listings as well. So maybe if you are an e-commerce or a brick and mortar store and you want to showcase all of your products in a directory format, you could do that. Or if you want to list out business directories, you could do that as well. They also have a content locker. Now this is great to capture leads. So you could basically just drag the element anywhere on the page and then drop it. So for this content locker pop-up, a user could basically read everything above this content locker. But if they want to continue to scroll down to read the rest of the page, they'll have to essentially provide their email address. So this is a great way to collect leads on your website. So if you are a blogger, you can add these content locker pop-ups to your blog so they can read the first few paragraphs, but then they would need to add their email to continue reading the entire article. Now, if I right click on this element, I could delete it. And one of the more important elements are all of the form elements, okay? So you can build your form exactly how you want to collect the right information from your leads. They also have portal and tons of miscellaneous elements you can drag and drop. They also have pre-built sections, so tons of hero sections that are perfect for above the fold, maybe primarily on your homepage. If you have a team, you have team sections. If you are a local business, you can showcase your Google Maps. So you can click it, drag it, and then drop it to wherever you want. So you'll have your Google Maps on the left-hand side and ways to get in touch with you on the right-hand side. So perfect for brick and mortar, local businesses, small businesses, and tons of other sections as well, like a list of services, testimonials, call to action sections. They even have counters. You could also edit the main components of your website, like the footer and header. And you could view a list of all of the pages and even create new pages on your website. If you want to update your typography, you can do so right over here. So for the H1, you can select from all of these various fonts. So they have, hundreds of different fonts you can choose from. You can change the size, the line height, so on and so forth. And for additional settings, you can change your website name and the URL. Now with the AppSumo lifetime deal, you can add your own custom domain. But when you first start your website, they do give you a Grigora branded URL. You can also upload your site logo, your favicon, Apple Touch icon as well, and also change the colors. So when you were choosing your template and picking the palette, and maybe you didn't like a few colors, you could go into your colors settings and then delete colors from the palette or even add more. And you have full control over editing your website. So say for example, this white box, if you right click and click on settings, you could basically change anything you want. Maybe I want the corners to be rounded. I can go under advanced settings and under border, I can change the radius to maybe like 20 pixels. So then you could see the corners are rounded. Now, if you want to change text, you can just double click and just type in any text you want and make it bold, italicized. You can also change the color and also hyperlink the text as well. So as you can see on the right-hand side, you have full control over how your elements or this specific container will look like, okay? So you can change the dimensions here. So maybe the max height, you can do something like 200. So you can see it changes in real time. The max width, you can change the max width however you want to. Aside from pixels, we can do something like percentage and do like 80%. And to move this container more towards the right, we can possibly try to increase the left margin. Let's do like 50 or maybe like 200, something like that. And then just play around with it to make it look exactly like how you want to. You can even add, a border, a box shadow. So maybe if you want to add a box shadow here, you can change the X and Y positions, increase or decrease the blur, change the spread amount, and also the color as well. So a lot of tweaks you can make. So as you could see, you can change exactly how you want things to look on your website, but you'll definitely need to get comfortable changing the numbers yourself, like the pixels for the margins, the padding. Under component, you can create another component. You can also select an entrance animation as well. There's tons of animations. So it is very powerful, but at the same time, if you want a pixel perfect website, I think you can get there, but just finding the exact settings will definitely take some time. You will hit some roadblocks along the way and possibly get frustrated because maybe you can't find the exact drop down to edit a specific thing. So you definitely need patience to figure out what everything means and where to find everything to make different containers and sections look exactly like how you want to, okay? But for the most part, in terms of the template, as you could see right here, it doesn't look too bad. If you're selling like workshops, for example, you can list them out right over here. I added this recent post section, so all of my blog articles will automatically get populated in this row. If you have courses or other products or services you want to lay out like this is a great layout that you could use. So if you want to switch out this image, you can just click on it and then click on the image. You can choose from your library, you can upload from your computer, paste a URL, or have AI generate an image for you, or find a free stock photo from Pexels. Let's try to use their built-in AI. So it will consume 750 credits. Let's do a square resolution and click on generate image. Okay, so this one doesn't look too bad, right? So we can decide to use this image, and there we go. So it is added to this first column here. Now I do notice there is a pink background, so let's try to change that out. Now I don't think it's in the image element. I believe it is maybe in this column. Let's click on settings, but more specifically, let's click into this layers section. So now you can hover over these layers and see what specifically you can edit. So for this column, under this container, I believe that pink is under this container. Okay, yep. So this pink, let's turn that white, but actually it's not changing. So I don't believe it is this that I need to change, but it's actually, okay, this background. Okay, there we go. So we can make it white like that. And then for the image, we can drag it and make it larger like this. And then same for this one, we can make it a little bit larger if we want to. Now, one thing I'm noticing regarding the layers is that everything is named the same. So this is the first container, second one, third one. I really wish they named these layers in a more descriptive way, because right now I have no idea what exactly anything is unless I click into it and then it'll move to that part of the page, okay? So I really wish they made these layers a little bit more descriptive. So as you can see, editing anything on the page is possible, but at the same time, you do need to be comfortable navigating the layers and then also editing the layers and the elements inside this right-hand rail by changing the numbers, going into the style settings or advanced settings and finding the right dropdown to select to change exactly what you want. So it is a little bit tedious, so you'll definitely need a lot of patience. Now, blogging, I think, is a big part of this tool. So you can easily create a new post by clicking on the Add New button. And you could access all of the blogging features on the top here. Personally, I think this kind of looks like Canva. You could add your title here and then write your article here. Now, if you don't want to write anything yourself, you could go into AI tools and use their blog outline generator or blog post generator. They also have an internal link suggester. This kind of reminds me of the WordPress plugin called Link Whisper. This will suggest relevant internal links for your content. You can generate images, and you can also generate an FAQ section for your page as well. I want to generate a blog article on the SEO tips for local businesses. So the target audience, I want to do maybe business professionals. Content type, let's say maybe a listicle. Target word count, let's keep it at 800. You could also decrease it or increase it up to 3,000 words. So a pretty lengthy blog article. And for the tone, you can choose between these various tones. Let's do friendly, then click on generate blog post. Also, by the way, you can update the writing style as well if you scroll down. So conversational, these are SEO options as well. Okay, so it just finished the article, and as you could see, we have, let's see, about 8 SEO tips for local businesses. I think the article is nicely laid out. There's different sections, there's bulleted lists, they even bolded some phrases as well. So it's easy to skim, easy to read. And if you highlight some text, you can rewrite with AI by improving it, fixing the grammar, making it shorter, longer, so on and so forth. Now, keep in mind that when you do use the AI, it will cost you credits. So let's say maybe we want a shorter intro. I can click on make shorter, and there we go. So it's a much shorter intro. And for this first tip, claim and optimize your Google My Business profile, we can click into this settings here, and we could change the tag. So right now it's an H2. We can change the font size, the alignment. Maybe we wanted to make it bold. We could do that. Also change the colors and the paddings and the margins, so on and so forth. Now let's generate images for our blog. Maybe we can say local business storefront, resolution is landscape, and let's generate this image. Okay, let's use this one, and there we go. So we have our image added to our blog article. Now, if you click into info, you could view the author, you can select the category, any tags you want to add to this article. You can also view the outline as well. So yep, if you click into different sections, it'll jump to that part of the page, which I think is pretty nice. And then for the SEO section, this kind of reminds me of Rank Math or Yoast SEO if you use WordPress. So it'll score your article against all of these elements here. We need to add a focus keyword. So let's do local SEO. So as you can see, it changes, right? Now for the header image for this article, let's try to generate another AI image. Let's see what it generates with this prompt. I'm not sure if it'll generate a nice one, but I said local SEO tips for small business. And let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so I don't really like this image because it really isn't legible. So I don't think my prompt was all too great. Let's change the prompt and let's try again. I'm gonna say red pin on Google Maps with 5 stars. So let's see what the AI comes up with this prompt. Okay, this one actually isn't bad, so I'm gonna use this image. Okay, now we need to add the title and the alt text, then click on save. So now we have our main header image for our blog article generated by AI, and also this image that's on the blog article itself. Now let's publish it. Okay, so now in my posts section, we could see our latest blog article. We can see the SEO score. And if we go to my website, we could see under recent posts, it automatically gets populated here. So we can click into this blog article and then we can read and consume the article right over here. So not too bad, right? Of course, you can change the layout of this blog template as well. Like earlier, I did make the background a little light gray just to make it a little bit more eye-catchy. But of course, you can change it any color, make the width wider or shorter. Personally, I think I need to make this column much more narrow so it's easier to read, but overall not too bad. Now another neat feature is that you can send this blog article as a newsletter. That's why I think this kind of reminds me of Substack as well. So if we click send newsletter, we can update the subject line, we can choose the template of the email. I kind of like this centered template. You can test the email. If you want to schedule it for later, you can, or just send it right now. I'm going to send it right now. And here is that email, okay? So the title is the email subject line, and you can take a look at the image and read the entire blog article inside this newsletter email, okay? So a really nice way to share your content. Under directory listings, you can manage your different types of content collections. And for the newsletter section, you could view at a glance how many subscribers you have, a list of your subscribers. Now, the way I collected my leads was in this form right here. So if they put their name and email, they'll automatically be added as my newsletter subscriber. You can also connect your Google Search Console, and that data will be in your SEO report. You could set a specific date range if you want, or change it to the last 90 days, 30 days, or the last week. So these are clicks. You could view impressions, average CTR, average position. And if you click into one of these keywords, you could view the historical data for this specific keyword if you want to. You can also connect your Google Analytics, and that data will show in your analytics report. You could view your top pages, top traffic sources. So really just the bare minimum in terms of data that you could view for your GA4 data and also Google Search Console data. Personally, I would still want to log in to those tools to get a better grasp of my data. But if you just want a quick and dirty glance of your information, you could connect those and view them inside Grigora. Now, I really like how this line graph looks like, but as I'm scrolling, I'm not exactly sure how accurate it is. So for August 10th, we could see the active users, the sessions, and page views are all 8. Now, page views is the orange line, but for some reason, the orange line is lower than the blue and green lines. You would think that since all of those 3 dimensions are the same with the same metrics, that they would basically be, in the same area of the line graph, but it's not. So this line graph, I don't believe is totally accurate. It looks nice, but I don't think it's totally accurate. Even this one as well. So page views is 19, but it's only at 8. Now, I'm not sure if we can click into page views. Okay, we cannot. So this is the only line graph we could view, but unfortunately, it's not totally accurate. You can also do some keyword research inside this tool as well. So a great way to quickly find some blog topics you can write about without having to go into another tool, right? So you could do all of this inside Grigora. So for SEO tips, it found 460 keywords. Search volume is 164, which I don't know how this is calculated because if you look at the search volume column, it's way more than 164. The average competition is 20.9%. Not exactly sure what that means, but regardless, the actual keywords that are listed here are, not too bad. Although I do question the accuracy of this information. I would love to know where they are pulling this data from. And this is your storage. Now with the AppSumo lifetime deal, you get unlimited storage. So you can view your images, everything like that. Everything is organized by date. So 2025, August the 14th. These are all of the AI generated images. Now, one thing I'm noticing is that it actually creates multiple sizes every time you generate an AI image, okay? So this is the first size, this is the second size, so on and so forth. Now, there is no way to easily sift through these images like a carousel. You basically need to open up manually these images to view them, which I don't think is a good user experience. Also, I wish I could view the preview of the image in this list right here, but I can't. So I think they could definitely improve this files section. And this is where some additional project management features are sprinkled into the tool. So if you are working with a team, you can manage all of your projects right over here. So I have one assignment to write a blog article. We can add a new task. I can say, proofread local SEO tips blog article. It's assigned to me. I can add it there. So I have 2 assignments. We can also drag things under pending review if we want to, mark it as completed as well. And then for timeline, I believe everything that's marked as completed will be notated right over here. So you could see in this timeline view, all the actions that you've taken. Not exactly sure how I like this view. Like right now, this doesn't tell me too much. You can click into a date, for example, and then view the time. So you could see when, I guess, it was completed. If you go back to access, view your assignments again. So not exactly sure how helpful this timeline view is, but this view I think is much more helpful. You also have tons of settings options. So you can update the general settings of your site. You can invite your team as a contributor, author, editor, or an admin. You also can add custom code. Now, when it comes to custom code, under integrations, more specifically, you can add your Google Analytics ID, Google Site Verification meta tag here. And since I do have license tier 2, I can add webhooks. So I set this up using AutoKit. It's very similar to Zapier. So I do have a lifetime deal for this tool. So I basically created a Grigora to MailerLite workflow. So I created this webhooks trigger, and AutoKit gave me this webhook URL, and then I pasted that webhook right over here. So whenever someone fills out a form on my website, my webhooks will trigger, and then it'll push that information into my MailerLite account. Now, when it comes to the specific fields that the webhook can push from Grigora, these are the specific fields, okay? And inside my MailerLite, you could view the email that I use to subscribe in my Grigora website and the first name that I gave it as well. You also have some important SEO settings you can set up right over here. You can configure the general settings for your newsletter, like the sender name, the reply to. And when it comes to the email provider, you can set up your own custom SMTP, which I highly recommend. If not, it'll come from this domain, the grigorasites.com domain, which I don't think is the best. I would set up my own custom SMTP. You can also update your AI model settings as well. You can choose from these various AI models. Anthropic is coming soon, and you could choose from the image models, okay? So not only text models, but image models. And I think the quality of the images that it generates are actually not too bad. You could also bring your own text and image API keys. You could also white label Grigora, okay? So you can resell the entire Grigora platform under your own brand. So custom domain, custom plans, and payment integration is included. You can purchase white label for $799 per year. And this is specifically an AppSumo special. So if you grab the AppSumo lifetime deal, you will be able to take advantage of the special white label plan pricing. It's annual pricing. Now this takes me to who Grigora really is for. I think this tool is perfect for people who want a website up and running very quickly. I think if you are a brick and mortar store, specifically, for example, a restaurant, and you really need a website to have your general information, but you don't have time to really build an entire website yourself, I think Grigora is a great option for you. Also, if you are a blogger, you could use a template like this to write your articles and then send them out as newsletters through the tool if you want to. Also, if you want to create a portfolio website like this one, it's very simple, something that you could spin up really quickly. This could be a great option for you. Now, the layouts are just okay. Now, if you are that type of person who wants a pixel perfect website, like you want the margins to be set exactly the pixels you want to move things up or move things down, you can get there. But keep in mind that you might get frustrated, you might hit some roadblocks along the way. But if you just want a website up and running really quickly, and you don't really care if the colors or the layout, the spacing is not totally to your standards, you just want something up and running, this is great. Also, I think if you've been thinking about starting your own web design agency, Grigora could be used as your kickoff point. You can potentially sell these websites for local businesses who really don't have any technical expertise. You can sell these for maybe $250, $500, maybe $1,000. And then after you build their website, you can charge them maybe $100 maintenance fee, monthly maintenance fee moving forward. So I think if you want to start your web design agency, this tool could make it easy for you, especially now that they do have the white label plan. If you sell maybe a couple websites for $500 each, it'll very quickly pay for itself. So this is something that you definitely can consider.